After she had finished speaking, like a lady touched by love, she sang, Beate quorum tecta sunt peccata. And like the nymphs that wandered all alone through shaded forests, one seeking to find, another to escape the sun, she moved against the current's flow, walking along the bank, while I, on my side, tried to match her shorter steps with mine. We had not taken 100 steps between us when the two banks curved as one around a bend, so that once more I was headed toward the east. And we had not gone far in that direction when the lady turned and faced me, saying, "My brother, look and listen." Suddenly, a shining brightness flared through all the forest, so that I thought it must be lightning. But since lightning is gone even as it flashes, and that light shining on became more lustrous, I asked myself, now, what is this? Through the luminous air, there came a melody so sweet that I was mastered by a worthy zeal to reprimand the impudence of Eve. There, when earth and heaven were still obedient, how she, a woman alone, and just then given shape, could not resist, nor stay beneath the veil. Had she remained submissive there beneath it, I should have tasted these ineffable delights much sooner and a longer time. While I walked on among so many first fruits, this foretaste of eternal bliss, enchanted, though desiring joy still greater, beneath the green bough, the air before us seemed to become a blazing fire, and that sweet sound could now be heard as song. Oh, sacred virgins, if fasting, cold, or sleepless nights I've ever suffered for your sake, necessity drives me to call for my reward. Now let the springs of Helicon pour forth, and let Urania help me with her choir to put in verse things hard for thought. A short way on, 7 golden trees seemed to appear, an illusion caused by the space that separated them from us. But when I had come close enough, distance no longer could deceive the senses nor distort the common object's proper shape, and the faculty that readies reason for its matter knew them as candelabra, which indeed they were. And in the voices of the chant I heard Hosanna. From above flared the glorious array, far brighter than the moon bright at mid-month in a midnight sky. Full of wonder, I turned to my good Virgil, and he answered with a look no less charged with amazement. Then I raised my face again to the high mysteries. They moved so slowly towards us, even newly wedded brides would have outpaced them. The lady scolded. "Why is your desire so set on the display of living lights that you have failed to note what comes behind them?" Then I saw people, clad in white, who followed as though led by the lights, their garments of a whiteness never seen on earth. The water to my left was all aglow, and like a shimmering glass gave back an image of my left side if I turned to look. When I was at a point on my edge of the bank where only the river flowed between us, I paused to have a better view and saw the flames advance, leaving behind them painted air, as though they had been brushes in a painter's hand, so that above us blazed in streaks the 7 bands in all the hues the sun takes for his bow and Delia for her girdle. These banners stretched beyond my sight. As near as I could judge, the outermost was set 10 paces from each other. Beneath so fair a sky as I described, 24 elders, 2 by 2, came crowned with lilies. All were singing, "Blessed are you among the daughters of Adam, and blessed is your loveliness forever." When the flowers and the verdant grasses across the river on the other bank were left barren of those chosen people, as in the heavens light comes after light, 4 living creatures followed them, each crowned with green-leaved wreaths. And everyone had 6 wings at his plumage, wings so full of eyes that the eyes of Argus, were they to come alive, would be just like them. To describe their forms, listener, I do not spend more rhymes, for other outlay so constrains me I cannot deal more lavishly in this. Go read Ezekiel, who depicts them as he saw them, descending from the frigid zone in wind and cloud and fire. And just as you shall find them on his pages, such were they there, but for the wings, where John accords with me and not with him. These 4 marked off a space that held a 2-wheeled chariot of triumph, drawn along behind a griffin's neck. The griffin lifted both its wings between the middle band of light and the 2 sets of 3, so that it did not cut through any band. Wings raised so high that they were lost to sight. Its parts were golden where it was a bird, and all the rest of it was white with some vermilion. Never did Rome give joy to Africanus, nor indeed Augustus, with such a splendid car. Compared to it, the sons would seem but poor. The chariot of the sun, which gone astray at the pious prayer of earth, was quite consumed in Jove's mysterious justice. Then came 3 ladies dancing in a round near the right wheel, one so flaming red she hardly would be noticed in the fire. Another seemed as though her flesh and bones were made of emerald, while the third seemed white as is new-fallen snow. Sometimes it seemed the white and now the red led in the dance, and from the red one's song the others took their movements, quick or slow. 4 other ladies dressed in purple were dancing at the left, keeping to the cadence the 3-eyed one among them set. Behind the group I have described, I made out 2 old men, unlike in their attire, but alike in bearing, honourable and grave. One showed himself conjoined with those who follow great Hippocrates, whom nature shaped for creatures she loves most, while the other showed a different disposition, his sword so bright and sharp that even from across the stream it made me fear. Then I saw 4, humble in their aspect, and after them an old man came alone and walked as though he slept, despite his keen expression. All 7 of these were dressed just like the group that first appeared, except they did not have garlands of lilies around their heads. Theirs were of roses and other crimson flowers. From just a little farther off, one would have sworn that they were all on fire above the eyebrows. And when the chariot stood across the stream from me, a thunderclap was heard, and all that worthy throng seemed forbidden to go further, and they stopped behind the banners that had come before them.